Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you enjoy these videos, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below what you think of them and how your day has been. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started on with the video. So from here, I am just making some cobblestone slabs, so that way we can go ahead and start expanding. Cause instead of making it out of wood like I usually do, I figured cobblestone. So that's initially what I'm doing to switch out. Also, I did not recognize how loud that this rain really is. So, hopefully y'all can still hear me over it, but I'm honestly not too sure. But it is a good thing that we are actually now finally getting rain, because that's what I've been waiting on for these barrels, is to collect rain. Also, I really want to get iron as well, because I just need 2 buckets, because before I use this and then have to wait on a whole nother rain cycle, I am wanting to go ahead and turn it into an infinite thing of water, so that way I don't have to be stressed out about running out. Right here, as you can see, I finally managed to get some silkworms, so I finally infested a big tree with, I think it was 2 silkworms. And I went on ahead and put those up. Some of this stuff I did do offline, not like anything important, but just mostly like all the collecting trees, collecting silkworms, and collecting pebbles, like all the boring stuff that you have to sit there and work on for a while. I worked on all of that on my own time, and so that's what I was working on. But on the bright side, now that we actually have string, we can actually now make the mesh, which is what we have been waiting on for a good minute now. And just as well from here, as you can see, I have already made the sieves, I think it's called. Yeah, the sieves. So now I just need to quickly make the mesh for it. And there it is. I'm trying to make as many as I possibly can, so that way I can get as much done as I possibly can. Because nobody likes to just sit there with one seed, that's for sure. But that way now we can actually start going for gravel and sand and dust. This is different stages of it. But I will pretty much be sitting there for a while going through a lot of that, which means that I will definitely need a cobblestone generator. So that's another thing that I definitely have to work on. But in the meantime, for now, we're just placing a bunch of sieves down, so that way whenever I do get to sieving, then hopefully it won't take as long as it usually would with just one. From here, as you can see, it's still raining, so it's full of water. So we're gonna go ahead and make our infinite water source. That way, even if it's not raining, if I need some more clay and stuff, I can just run over there to that water, pick it up, and be good to go. And of course, on the bright side now that I do have water in those, I now just have to work on getting, I think it's dust, and then of course we got our clay, which will be our next step to our progress. So yeah, right now we're just picking up a bunch of pebbles. So fun, so fun. If you don't know, this game is a lot about pretty much having to put in a few hours to get things done. As you can see right here, I am sieving. I'm pretty sure that's dust, but yeah, I'm sieving. Yeah, it's definitely dust. I just seen redstone pop out. But yeah, I'm sieving up a bunch of dust because of course we also got to get some danks going. So therefore I got a bunch of dust I got to go through, and I'm wanting to make 3 danks because I want 1 for gravel, 1 for sand, and 1 for dust. That way I don't have to have a bunch of chests just lying around with all those materials. Of course, for now I do, but in the future, hopefully I can actually get rid of those. Anyway, so from here I am trying to quickly make some dust so that way I can put it into the water barrels that we just got from collecting all that rain. And that will turn into clay. Then I'm gonna place the clay down, break that into some clay balls, and then put that with some bone meal, and that should make the porcelain clay. And then I'll make the cauldron thing. I can't remember its name. And then from there we're gonna fire that up in a furnace, and then we're gonna place that on top of a torch. So that way we can place some cobblestone there and get some lava going. So that way we can get our generator going. But long story short, for the whole graduation, it was pretty much a 2-day thing. The first day, I got off of work a few hours prior, so I went with my folks to go up there. We went up there and we found out that some people that we don't really care for was there, and so of course very first thing as soon as we get there, that's who we see. And so then from there we went to go park. We sat there for a moment waiting on time because we was early, but it was also trying to get early parking and stuff because we knew there was going to be a lot of people there. I mean, it wasn't just one person's graduation, it was a bunch of people's graduation, so we knew it was going to be quite full. And of course it was. And so we waited for a little bit, then we finally decided to walk up, and then we seen another one of our cousins. So we started talking to that person, and of course that person came with the people that we really don't care for. So my folks started talking to our cousin, and from there it was just that. And then eventually the graduation person came up and his folks came up as well. They asked us if we wanted photos, so we all said yes. We even made sure to get photos with babies and all. And then the graduation one left because of course he had to go take care of other stuff. And then the two people we don't care about decided to ask if they could take photos with the others. And my folks looked at me and said, I don't know, what do you think? And I just straight up looked at my folk and I said no. But of course I had a lot of other words in mind, but I kept it simple and brief and just said no. And of course you could see the disappointment on them. They immediately went back to sit down and stuff like that. And I'm also skipping a bit. So when we first got up there, they seen us, and one of them was really trying their best to speak to me, and I literally just sat there in silence because, ooh. But I sat there in silence, even when they complimented, silence, and then finally I looked over, I gave a certain look, and then they finally stopped talking after that. And then of course, after that a little bit later, they asked about the photo. That's whenever I said no. And then right after the whole photo thing was done and over with, my other folks got together with the graduation folks, and we all, well, us three, went down to the other seats that was on down there, and we sat down there for a moment. And then because two of them was there that we really didn't care for, I was showing one of them that I came with how mad I was that I was actually sitting there shaking because I don't think anybody dislikes them more than I do in my family, but a lot of people do dislike them, but I don't think it's nearly as much as I do. So after that, it wasn't long that we went from those seats on back up to the bleacher area. We weren't actually sitting on the bleachers, but we was beside them. And quite frankly, I pretty much stood the entire time that I was there. Besides, of course, that like 3 minutes, if that really, that I sat down those chairs below. Then we went back up. They were still talking to our other cousin. I tried to, because I mean, I never get to see that one, but of course I didn't really get the chance to. So I let them talk, and then eventually, finally, it started. And of course, my husband was he got off the same time that it started, so if GPS didn't take him the incorrect way, he would have made it there, but of course it took him somewhere else, so he didn't manage to actually make it on time. So we ended up having to meet him elsewhere, and of course that was that. And then of course the next day was another part of the graduation. Thankfully, one of our family members told us that the two people that we very much so dislike, thankfully she whispered and said they didn't know anything about that. So nobody said anything. That way it was going to be a better day, because there's very few people that actually like them, and I think that it's mostly just a tolerate and not so much of a liking situation, just much more of a tolerate. So yeah, there is that. So quick brief explanation for that. So what I'm doing here, as you can see, is I'm just expanding the base real quick as I wait for the lava to form, and of course I have to keep going back and checking to make sure it's got cobblestone. I think this thing holds 2 or 3 buckets of lava, so I was just really waiting on one. And as you can see, I also made the cobblestone generator. I did make the second tier as well. So the first tier is wood, and then the second tier is where you use cobblestone, and then of course up from there it's just regular ores. So eventually I will get to those, but I ain't made it to that yet. And now right here I'm making a big area for receiving, only because I don't want to sit here for hours at a time using just 4 of them. I'm trying to make it as big as I can, so it pretty much goes by as quickly as possible, because I do not have all the automation and stuff just yet. I have been looking into automation stuff, but I still have probably about a minute to go before I officially get there. So just so y'all know, I will probably be doing a lot of the sieving, not in these types of videos. I might do some more videos on them, but other than that, it definitely won't be in these videos, because then it's just going to get boring. Let's just be real. Here is my first trader, and of course I took him out just like the llamas. Well, I tried to take that one out, but he fell, so I'm trying to keep this one up because I really want the leather from them, so that way I can be closer to getting a backpack. But yeah, this is pretty much all for this video. If you are enjoying these videos, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below what you think of them and how your days have been. And yeah, thank you all so very much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. So yeah, bye. Also, real quick, I did just want to say that the non-graduating cousin, which has graduated many years before us, he did say that he knew how much we disliked them, considering he's not a big fan of them either. So he was pretty much being jokingly but serious at the same time, that he was actually being the barrier in between us and them, just so that nothing got started, because let's just say we don't like them so much that things will go down. It is that bad. If y'all want to know the backstory of that and why there are so many bridges burned down with him, I will let y'all know, but that is a very long story for many years, so I'll pretty much have to sum it all up the best that I can in probably a few videos. So yeah, anyways, thank you all so much for watching and listening, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.